right, and welcome back to The Lead Word. It is Trey Dalbert, your host, along with me, as always, Chad Bauman. We will be discussing, like always, takeaways in the Week 10 of the NFL season. Chad, what's going on today? Anything special?
Nothing much. It's Chad, Trey, and Chloe today, by the way. My dog's here with me. Say hi, Chloe. No, she doesn't want to say anything.
That's the dog that the really annoying bark, right? But it doesn't bark that much.
Little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't bark a lot, though. She only, barks if you have food, basically. It's a good week. Dallas lost.
Speaking of Dallas, that's kind of where I wanted to start, Chad, because before the season started, we talked about how the Cowboys, do they have enough to win a Super Bowl? And before the season, I said no. But it wasn't because their roster was bad. It was because I didn't think Dak Prescott was good enough. I think I'm going to change my stance. I think Dak Prescott might be better than I think he is. And I don't know that he's the problem. Jason Garrett, man, what are you doing?
Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash.
Jason Garrett, he's got Tavon Austin calling for fair catch. He's got Brett Maher kicking 58-yard field goals in the first quarter for no goddamn reason at all. He's got the 2nd and 2 at the 15, 16-yard line. He's handing the ball off, just wasting time. No time management. These guys don't play hard for him. Every single week, it seems like the Cowboys just have a bad game plan. They go down 10-0 early, and then the talent just starts to get them back into the game. Jason Garrett. Dak Prescott played out of his mind. That was the best Dak Prescott game I've ever seen. Maybe it was because he was fucking air. You see him in the pregame, he was humping the air in his workouts or whatever. Maybe he had some shit going on there.
Oh dear, she's dirty.
Jason Garrett, man. You gotta be better than that.
Yeah, I think it's funny that immediately after I go off and say that the difference between Carson Wentz is basically with Carson, you have games where he keeps your team in it, where you don't have that with Dak. I can't lie, Dak had a game where he kept them in it.
Dak had a game where he them in it.
He's got one.
That was the best Dak Prescott I've ever seen.
Dak has one game. I mean,
by a mile.
I do want to say this, though. It does help that Amari Cooper was making spectacular catches on the sideline all night.
The football field is 53 yards width. You needed 56 to cover Amari Cooper because some of the catches he had, you just can't even defend him. He was leaning like Michael Jackson out of bounds catching balls.
He got one in the end zone doing it, too. At what point do you cover the comeback?
Insane. I don't know how you defend it. How do you defend it? He's leaning like Michael Jackson shit. Black magic shit going on.
Before any Cowboys fans get butt hurt, that's not me taking anything away from what Dak did last night, because I've already said he had a great game. Amari Cooper has just been lights out with the Cowboys.
And the numbers show anytime that, since Dak has gotten Amari Cooper, is night and day different quarterback. That Jets game, he didn't have Amari Cooper. He was awful.
Did you notice, or did you see after the game, I guess they asked Jason Garrett about some of the play call decisions, and he threw, what's his name, under the bus, the offensive coordinator?
Kellen Moore.
Yeah, he threw him under the bus. He was like, yeah, that was him.
Wasn't me.
He's like, Jerry's not firing me.
We're 10 years into Jason Garrett. Nobody has answered the question of what he does outside of clap. You got to be better than that.
He makes decisions like telling Tavon Austin not to run the kickback.
I don't get it, Chad. For the first
I honestly
time ever,
don't get it either, because
I said
when he caught the ball and he fair caught it, I was like, he could have gotten at least to the 50. Because he caught it on like the 40-yard line.
He might have gotten 20 yards.
He might have. I'm just saying the very least he would have gotten was 50 yards. Because it took like, he fair caught it, and someone didn't enter the picture until like 10 seconds after he fair caught it.
That was the first time I watched a Cowboys game and sat there and said, Dak Prescott's not the problem here. That team has too much goddamn talent to lose like this.
Everybody gets one, and you just wasted Dak's one.
But think about, like, I know you hate the Cowboys, but, like, Jesus Christ, they're fucking guys everywhere. Their 2 tackles are unbelievable. Dak Prescott doesn't get sneezed on the whole game. Zach Martin is ridiculous. Travis Frederick's ridiculous. This offensive line, he doesn't get sneezed on the whole game. And I understand Minnesota did everything they could to stop Zeke, but Amari Cooper was unbelievable. Michael Gallup's pretty damn good. Randall Cobb was making some plays. Jason Witten, I don't know how he still gets open, but gets open. Does anybody have a better linebacking group than Dallas?
I've been envious of Dallas' linebacking group for a while now.
Dalvin Cook was unbelievable. He ran for maybe half the many yards that he should have gotten because it seemed like every play Jalen Smith or Leighton Vander Esch was just making a play that otherwise would have sprang Cook for a 40-yard burner. Those guys made plays all day. And Michael Bennett, like, that's the last guy they needed. Robert Quinn's playing out of his mind. DeMarcus Lawrence is one of the best edge. This team has too much goddamn talent to be fucking losing like this. They're 5-4, Chad. How many teams have a better roster than this? 5-4.
Well, you know me. I always hate to give Dallas props, but, I got to when I have to. They're always they used to not be a concern of mine, but they're a concern of mine. If the Eagles don't make the playoffs this year, it's going to be that second game with Dallas that keeps them out.
They're a good team, roster-wise. Are they well coached? I don't think so.
There's very few people that would disagree with that statement. Even Cowboys fans don't like Jason Garrett. And they're some of the dumbest people on the planet.
They have one win against a team with a losing record, or a team with a winning record. One.
Guess who?
Yeah. One. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have more. The New York Jets have more. One win against a team with a winning record.
No playoff wins this year. Jason Garrett's done. You finally pull the trigger if you're Jerry.
I think you got to fire him regardless.
They go to the Super Bowl. You're firing him?
Firing him.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, but...
What do you think happens?
Probably a first-round playoff exit.
And you think that's enough to keep him?
No, he's gone if they don't go... If I'm Jerry, the only way he's there next year is if he goes to the Super Bowl.
So that's the ceiling. NFC title game, he's out.
Maybe the title game.
Watching that game, like, the rosters of Dallas and Minnesota, off the charts good. Those teams have awesome rosters, awesome pieces. How many teams would pray that their second tight end is Irv Smith? Like, do you see how good that guy is? He's going to be awesome. Dalvin Cook, unbelievable. The Vikings, they have a good team.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah. Like I said, it pains me to say it, but they do have a good team.
All right, that's it for... You can start your takeaway now.
All right, so my first takeaway, gotta sort of throw it back to our preseason show. We talked about playoff teams, and we kind of got into teams that could make the playoffs during the season. Trey, you've been riding the Buffalo Bills Express.
I have.
All season. I wasn't sold on them being a playoff team. But you've been saying they're probably going to make it. And through week 10, they're 6-3. Unless they go on some kind of like major losing streak here, it's safe to say they're probably going to make the playoffs.
I think so.
My takeaway, though, is if you look at that Cleveland game that they played this past Sunday, I think it's clear that, yeah, they might make the playoffs, but they definitely don't belong there.
I don't disagree with that. But they're going to get in.
They're going to get in, but they don't belong. I think you look at that Cleveland game, there was mistakes left and right. I don't think Josh Allen is ready for prime time now. With him, he still has to be able to run the ball to be able to throw it.
Yeah. Like, if you're Buffalo, I would go as far as to say you should probably be worried if Josh Allen's going to make it. Not like overly concerned. Just like, are we sure he's going to be our starting quarterback in 5 years? Concerned.
Because if you look at him, he might suffer from Cam Newton disease.
He's running all over the place.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of hits, though, too. That's the problem. Unnecessary hits like Cam took in the beginning of his career.
You have to say this about Buffalo, though. Their defense looks very good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Their defense is definitely keeping them in these games, and it's helping them.
How many drives did the Browns have inside the goal line and just get stuffed?
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Did you watch any of that game?
Well, their first two, they had 9 plays inside the goal line and couldn't get a touchdown.
Yeah. And then there was another possession. I think they had 5 plays inside the goal line. They had to settle for a field goal or something.
Right. Well, that was their first two. Oh, yeah. I mean, after their first two.
Yeah, because there was 2 different ones, and they got stuffed on 4th and goal, and the second one they settled for a field goal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not totally down on Buffalo because I didn't expect a whole lot coming into the year. I think they're better than I thought they would look. They have a really nice secondary. They're going to win some games. They're not a true contender, but it's Buffalo. What do you expect? They're on the right path. They're going to make the playoffs. That's a good thing for Buffalo.
I'm not saying it's not a good thing. I'm just saying, like, they're gonna sneak in, but I mean they don't really belong to be there. They shouldn't be there.
But isn't that the whole AFC? Oakland might sneak in. Do they belong?
Of course not.
Pittsburgh might get in. Right now they're the 6th seed. Do they belong?
Kyle Rudolph is the truth.
Oh, God. Does Pittsburgh belong?
Juju deserves it.
That's the whole AFC. Buffalo, do they deserve to be in there? Nope. Does anybody in the AFC deserve to be in there? Not really.
The Chiefs. Wow, did you just hear my voice crack just now?
Well, that's the next place I want to go here. Kansas City. Chad, for years and years and years, people have discredited Aaron Rodgers. They've tried to say he's not as good as he really is because he just never seems to win a bunch of Super Bowls. But I don't know why we do this, why people do this. The one year Aaron Rodgers has had a top 10 defense once. Ever. In his entire career. It was the year they won the Super Bowl. The following year, they were 32nd. Aaron Rodgers has had bad defense after bad defense after bad defense with a revolving door of wide receivers, a revolving door of running backs, and a team that just normally doesn't sign free agents. This year, the Packers have given him some help. They got Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, Adrian Amos. They draft a bunch of defensive guys in the first round, and holy hell, Green Bay's winning games. And it doesn't matter that he has Jake Kumaro running routes and Alan Lazard running routes, and he doesn't need help on the offensive side of the ball. Aaron Rodgers needs help on the defensive side of the ball because you can't win if you got no defense. Defense wins championships. Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes. Because this is Aaron Rodgers 2.0 with the Packers 2.0. I get that Andy Reid's great. Andy Reid's phenomenal, and he helps Patrick Mahomes be great. And Tyreek Hill's really fast. And Travis Kelce, he's one of the best tight ends in football. It's not enough. You can't give up 35 to Tennessee. How the fuck do you give up 35 to Ryan Tannehill and expect to win football games?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Like, what are we doing here, Kansas City? Are you going to give the guy any help on that side of the ball? Chad, I have some stats for you because this is, like, unbelievable. Did you know Kansas City is giving up 95 yards rushing in the second half of football games this year? 95 yards rushing in the second half of football games.
I actually did know that.
Win like that.
I actually did know that because I read your article.
That would be the highest ever in the history of football. You can't win like that. 95 yards rushing in the second half?
Yeah, and just to put that in context for the people that don't get it, there's teams that don't give up 95 rushing yards in a game.
I think Philadelphia is averaging 80 the whole game, I think. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's partially due to the fact that we're good at stopping the run. It's also partially due to the fact that you don't need to run on us, so.
You're not winning football games giving up 95 yards fucking rushing in the second half of games. They're keeping this guy off the field. He's got to be almost perfect just to keep Kansas City in the game. Their defense has no personnel. They gave up way too much for Frank Clark. Chris Jones and Tyrann Mathieu are the only guys that can play. His running backs stink. Shady McCoy, I don't know how he's been in the league this long for the way he carries the football. He carries the football like a loaf of bread with one hand, just hanging out there for anybody to take it. Damian Williams, he fumbles. Tennessee gets a defensive touchdown. Darrell Williams, he's like a glorified fullback. You can't win like this. You can't win like this, Chad. How about this one? Kansas City, in games that Patrick Mahomes has lost, they're averaging 31 points per game allowed. That would be the most ever by a starting quarterback. Ever. Can't win like this.
They're averaging 31 points or they're allowing 31 points?
In games that Patrick Mahomes loses, the defense is giving up an average of 31 points. Yeah, that's why he's losing, which would be the highest mark ever by a quarterback. I love Andy Reid, but this fucking guy constantly just says defense and time management is overrated. We're going to win with our offense, and he can't do it. I love Andy Reid, but come on, man. Give me somebody on defense. Give me somebody.
Help me! Help me!
You can't just let Dee Ford and Justin Houston walk and just say, screw it, we're good. They sucked on defense last year.
Does Andy have personnel control in Kansas City? Yeah. I knew he had it when like at the end of his tenure with the Eagles.
That's why John Dorsey got fired. He does.
Yeah, I mean, we went through it with Andy when he was here with the Eagles, and time management has always been an issue with him. I don't know if you remember, but like the Super Bowl they played in 2004 against the Patriots, there was some time management stuff going on there. Doug Peterson's last year over there as offensive coordinator, apparently there was time management problems. Yeah, and it looks great, in the first part of the season, but then, like I said this a few weeks ago when they played the Colts, and I think the Colts had lost the game, but I had said that Jacoby Brissett, Frank Reich, they put the blueprint out there, like, hey, run the ball on these guys. You're going to end up winning the game.
Here's the other problem. Patrick Mahomes is on a rookie contract. This defense stinks now. What's it going to look like when you're paying him? I'm afraid this gets worse. They're not even paying the guy yet.
Maybe he takes a bunch of those Tom Brady deals.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll happen.
You better put all your draft picks towards the defensive side of the ball now while you can.
Like, this is the time you should be winning with Pat Mahomes. This is the time that he should have everything around him because you're not paying him anything.
Show me the money.
If this is what it looks like when you're not paying him, what the hell is this defense going to look like when you're paying him? I think they're in trouble.
It's going to be me and you out there.
All right. I don't have anything else for that.
All right. So, coming into the season, it looked like for several teams the tank was on. The Giants were still delusional. The Jets, they came into the season, we thought they had some promise with Sam Darnold, but Sam got hurt. They started losing games. It got weird for them.
Hey, they won this week.
They did. It looked like the true number one guys that were going to get the first overall pick were the Miami Dolphins.
If you ain't first, you're last.
It was, they had the cute little hashtag tank for Tua, We knew the Bengals were going to be bad, but they didn't seem like they were 10, 0-9 now bad at the time.
Yeah, something like that.
It feels like a lot of these teams have given up on trying to get the first overall pick. Fitzpatrick's down there in Miami, got him winning games. The Jets are winning games with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's talking about, hey, we could win out and go to the playoffs.
I saw that.
Someone needs to sit him down and be like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, call the season. I don't know what the Jets' schedule is, and we can look it up real quick. But don't blow this thing. At this point, some of these teams, they've kind of put themselves out of contention for the number one overall pick, because I don't think the Bengals are going to win another game this season starting Ryan Finley.
Did you see how bad Ryan Finley looked?
He got me 11 points in fantasy, so.
We bust on Andy Dalton for not being good. Andy Dalton was way better than anything we've seen out of Ryan Finley this past week.
Well, yeah, that's true, but I'm just saying, and I was going to say that, maybe you get a win with Andy Dalton. Maybe. Couple wins with Andy Dalton.
You're not winning now.
You're not. But you're definitely not getting any wins with Ryan Finley playing quarterback. They're probably going to end up switching back at some point. Or who knows? Maybe they're smart and they don't switch back because they don't want to win. Go 0-16, lock up number one.
I feel like they've already made the change. They're not going to switch back. And they say, fuck it, we'll keep losing. Who cares?
My point is if you're one of these teams, if you're the Jets, if you're the Dolphins, and you're the GM, I'm on the fucking sideline every game. The next motherfucker that scores a touchdown is cut.
Hey, I'm not going to be a real patient guy now.
By the way, have you seen the Jets schedule? I know this because I use them in Madden, but it's unbelievably easy. All right, I'm
looking it up now.
Huh? I pretty much have it memorized because I have it in Madden.
Okay, if you know it, then by all means.
I already have it. It's this week they get the Redskins. Is there another team you'd rather not play? Then they get the Raiders, which, okay, Raiders, but you could easily win that game. Then you get Cincinnati. That's 3 in a row. You're like, hey, we could win all those. Then you got Baltimore, which will be tough. But after that, it's Mason Rudolph, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo. You can't draw it up much easier than that.
I think you're right.
They just played the Giants.
You're right, but they're not. I don't think they're going undefeated in that span.
I agree, but I'm just saying, they're gonna win a couple games.
They are, but my point is if you're the Jets, just lose. What's the point of getting? What's the point of getting a slightly better pick?
I'll say this
instead of going number instead of
really good draft. It's gonna be a really good draft.
My point is, what if you're the Jets? What does the 7th pick do for you? Get number 1. blow and get number one. Because, yeah, you're probably not going to take one of the quarterbacks. I get that. Because you have Sam Darnold. So you don't need a quarterback there. But get number one. Hey, if the Bengals come in at number 2, you don't think you might be able to flip number 1 to Miami?
I think it's out of reach. I don't think you can outbid. I don't think you can outbad the Bengals at this point.
Well, you didn't previously have to. Until they started winning, you kind of shot yourself in the foot. In Miami, too. Why are you winning the game?
Miami's the one that really fucked themselves. I think that's the one. Like, you can't, like, with the Jets, you already got Darnold. You kind of got to see, like, hey, let's go and let him play a little bit. Miami's the one, like, you have nothing. Nothing.
Well, I'm just saying, man. I mean, again, the Jets I get a little bit better, but
yeah.
My point is like, you knew you weren't going to, you know you're not getting into the playoffs at this point.
I'm saying you know you're not going to get into the playoffs. This is a really good draft. You're going to get somebody awesome at 7. Like, take the quarterbacks out of it for a second. Chase Young is a monster. I don't know if you've seen him, Ohio State pass rusher.
Hail to the king, baby.
That guy is Bosa, Myles Garrett. He might be better than all of them. They got Andrew Thomas at Georgia. The Jets could really use a left tackle. That guy is unbelievable. It's an awesome draft. You're not going to go wrong here.
I mean, I'm not saying you're going to go wrong, but I'm saying if you get like a top 5 pick and you're the Jets, right?
Jerry Jeudy is great. Have you seen him at Alabama? He's awesome. You're not going to miss there.
I'm not saying you're going to miss these guys. I'm saying if you get a top 5 pick, you get 1, 2, or 3. You're telling me there's not a team that you can trade back with, get some more picks, and then still go get one of your guys, one of those guys, Chase Young, one of the other guys you mentioned?
I would say this. If I had the number 1 pick, in any other year, I'd trade back. Not this year. I would take Chase Young, and that would be the end of it.
Look, if you're the Jets and you have number 1, right?
I would take the pass rusher.
Okay, I'm saying the Bills are number 2, Miami's number 3. You could trade the 3. You could trade number 1 to Miami for the 3 and some other picks and probably still get Chase Young.
Maybe. He's that good, though. It's like the year Myles Garrett came out. You would have to be a lunatic to pass on him.
I'm just saying, I think the Jets have more moves to make if they lose more games than to keep trying to win. Miami, they're insane. I don't know why they're winning fucking games.
Brian Flores, he's a good coach. Too good.
Greatest of all time.
Too good for his own good.
All right. Anything else to add on that?
No, I don't have anything else to add on the loser teams in the league.
All right. I guess that's it then. We can get this up. Get it rolling.
Nice little quick show this week. Little quickie for you.
Yeah.
Any other minor sports things? Anything you want to add before we wrap up, Trey?
I wasn't necessarily prepared for this.
No, just closing thoughts. I'm not saying you have to go into like.
Oh, closing thought.
Anything interesting this week tickles you before you want to?
Can I leave you with a little stat?
I love stats.
All right. Baker Mayfield is 32nd in passer rating, 30th in completion percentage, and he has the second most interceptions on the season.
I feel bad for Baker. I just want him to be good so badly.
Oh, it's so funny though. It's so funny.
I feel like my best friend is in the league and he's just playing terribly, and I'm just like, come on, bro, you can do it.
It's so funny. I can't get enough of it.
He is awesome in the Hulu commercials, though.
He's in too many of them. He's in every commercial.
Yeah, but they're all great commercials. I love him in those commercials.
All right, there's my closing thought.
All right, Chloe, before we close out, you have anything to add? No, I think she's asleep. All right, well, anyway, that'll do it. So thanks for giving us a listen. Don't forget to give us a follow on Twitter, Vendetta_media. Don't forget to check out the main site on Facebook as well. The YouTube page, we're starting to grow a little bit. You guys have been listening, subscribing, and following. So don't forget to go subscribe to the YouTube page if you haven't, so you can see all of Trey's beautiful videos with his Jets franchise that he mentioned earlier. And
another one on the way.
The baseball franchise, he's got the Boston Red Sox on there. Don't forget to give Trey a follow on Twitter at Trey Daubert, TreyDaubert. Check me out on Twitter as well at Lowfooted, LILFOOTED. Other than that, again, thanks for giving us a listen, and we'll see you next week.